Hi everyone, I'm happy again to have another session on basic common controls for Windows Forms app in C#. In the last lesson, we looked at part 1 and we were able to see a few of them as you can see on the screen. We checked at a label, checked at link label, a button, a text box, a rich text box. We looked at radio buttons and then we also looked at check boxes. Now for today I want us maybe to look at more of them. At least in this session I'm going to look at a GroupBox control, ListBox control, and DateTime picker control as we build up into starting the real implementation or writing of code. At least it's good to be able to know what kind of controls you need to make your app. Now I request please, if you haven't checked the last video, please go back and familiarize yourself with the controls that we did. And if you already know about them, that's very good. No problem. Please just follow this one, and if you have any question or feedback, please just don't hesitate to give it to us through the comment section below, and we shall be happy to answer you. Also, if you have any issue that maybe you would want us to address or to teach about, please also be quick to let us know and we shall act on it. Okay, we also spoke about Solution Explorer. We spoke about several stuff, Server Explorer, Toolbox, and many more. So today let us pick from where we left. We said that the controls are always found on the toolbox, as you can see. So today's controls that I want us to look at is the first one of them is usually a group box, and group box is a control that you can always look from this list of controls that you see here. But for you to be able to see it fast, just type a group box on the search toolbox, and then as usual, grab it, drag, and then you drop it on the form. Let me pick a second one, group box, and then I grab it, I drag, and then I drop it. Okay, now before I do anything on the group box, let me first explain shortly what is a group box. A group box is a container, as you can see. It's a container. It's a container that helps you as a developer to have ability to categorize your related controls in a frame display. You can also say it's a container that contains multiple controls on it. It groups controls together just to make it easy for you as a designer to display related controls together to the user. For example, if you look at my screen here, my controls that we already have are not grouped together, but we have some of the related controls. For example, choosing the gender and indicating favorite foods. These we can say that like these are more like group related controls. So for us, just to make it easy for the user, we can always enlarge this group box, and then we drag all of these controls inside of this so that we group them together. That's what we use group box for. We group related controls together and show them in like columns or lists, whichever way that we want to show to the user. So let me just drag all of them here, and then we have a better display. Okay, then You already have all of them inside, so we just enlarge this group box and we drag it maybe to the end of the window forms. If you look here again, we have another group box. I want us to use this one to group the controls on the left. So let me just minimize this one a little bit. We minimize it and we just maximize this one a little bit. Okay, then we drag it, this one, the rich text box, we bring it inside, and you can always adjust the size. Just drag and drop the controls that you want, and then you can arrange them. Okay, let me just minimize this one once more, maximize it, sorry. Then I drag all this downwards. As you can see what is happening, we are using a group box to group controls together. Then you can always adjust the size. See the blue line always shows that you have aligned them correctly. That looks better. Okay, you have two group boxes, as you can see. Now we can call the first group box GroupBox 1, as you can see here, the second one GroupBox 2, but we can always change the text property of the group box. You call it just the name that you want through the properties of the group box, as we saw last time. So just to make this more clear, let us change the color of the group box so that you can see for sure each one of the controls, each controls is grouped together. We can change the background of each group box. For that, we may see the difference between the two of them. Let's give the first one, which color? Yellow. Yeah, you see? It changed the color, and we give the second one a different color. Which color do we give the second one? Close to yellow, green. Yeah. All right, so now you can see that your controls are grouped together by use of a group box. You can always arrange them the way you want, and you can always rename the group box to a different way and style it the way you want using the properties of the group box. I think now you understand what is a group box. Now the next control that I want us to look at is called ListBox. As usual, we come to View, then we go to Toolbox, and then we select ListBox. This is how a ListBox looks like. Let's just drop it here. You can see there it's written ListBox. Okay, so what is a ListBox? A ListBox, as the name suggests, is actually used to show multiple elements in a list. When you have some elements that you want to see, you show them in a list box, and this is where a user can select one or more elements and then you display them in a list box. For example, if you want the user to see the favorite fruits that you select, when you select mango, you can display that in this list. You select pear, you show it in this list. You select apple, you show it in this list. So a list box is just used to help the user to see or show multiple elements in a list box. We will see how we can use this one once we start writing the code. So that's it for a list box. Now, the next one that I may want us to see is called DateTime Picker. DateTime Picker. Let me minimize this list box so that I make some space for DateTime Picker. All right, as usual, let's select DateTime Picker from here, and we drag it, then we drop it here. You see, you can always enlarge it a little bit like this. And if you look at it, you can see it's written, today's date is 1st December 2020. And as it says, DateTime Picker, it actually helps you as a developer to display date and time to the user with a specified format. It helps you to show date and time, and also to be able to collect date and time. The user, whenever they want to collect anything, they always use this one to show. And if the user, there is anything that you want your app to show and collect date from the user, you use DateTime Picker. And our DateTime Picker has two parts. It has a label. You see, it's shown like a label. We say that a label is used to show information to a user. So it's showing them, and whenever you run this app and then you click on this, it shows you a calendar. So it has a label to display selected date and a pop-up calendar that allows user to select a new date. Let's see it in action. Let's run this form, and we say that we run it by hitting start. Start is on top, as you see. I want us to see how you can select date using DateTime Picker and see how it pops up a calendar whenever you try to select from it. So our app is currently running. You see, now we have this form here. This is our DateTime Picker, this one here. It has a label that shows us the date, and then from there you can the user can always select which date that they want maybe to input by always clicking here. When you click there you see you have our calendar popping up. So this one is going to help your app to be able to collect data from the user. And that's it for DateTime Picker. We are going to see much more how we can always implement this when we start writing the code. As I promise that I'm gonna just take you step by step to show you all the controls that you're gonna need to develop an app that can actually be useful. So for now, we're just taking a tour to see what controls do we have, what controls are available to us as developers. And then after we get familiar with all the controls that we need, then we're going to start the actual coding, and then it's gonna get better and better, more exciting when we start writing the code. So for today, remember, we have looked at DateTime Picker, we have looked at the use of a list box that helps you to display items or elements in a list, and also we looked at what else? GroupBox that helps you to group your controls together. So I hope that you have enjoyed and that you have learned quite a lot from this lesson. See you in the next one, where we're going to cover like part 3 of the controls, and then we are done with the controls. Basically, with what we have done in part 1, this part 2 and part 3, we should be able to write some good code. At least you know what is happening. Thank you very much, and I look forward to your comments and your feedback, and let's meet in the next lesson. Thank you very much.